always having some money. Okay, sorry. So the person who is always having cash and does not have financial problem, that person will not be motivated by how much money you give that particular person. Then the third category of motivation, we have nature. Nature, we have what we refer as intrinsic and extrinsic. Intrinsic, this is the things that come from inside of a person. There's somebody who was born naturally happy. There's somebody who was born naturally enthusiastic. There's somebody who was born naturally. So it comes as nature. He's always motivated. You have paid him or not paid him, he'll still be happy. You have paid him or not paid him, he'll still be motivated. He'll still come back tomorrow. You engage this particular person on work, and then at the end of the day, you say there's no money to pay you. But tomorrow, he's the first person to come back to work. So that means the things that are motivating that particular person is coming from his inner being, from the spirit. You can't explain whatever is motivating him. You struggle to look at and see whatever is motivating that particular person. You may not see. There's somebody who just be motivated if he came to office and made people laugh. If he came to office and served customers, and customers left there smiling, that person will feel motivated just because of that. Then you have those who are motivated by extrinsic factors, other factors. I'm motivated just because I'm working with Joanne. I'm motivated because I'm working with Miriam. I'm motivated because I'm working with the Precious. Just the relationship that I'll have with others that will motivate me. That if you are setting up a group to work on a particular task, as long as I'm working with the Precious or as long as I'm working with the Joanne, as long as Mariam is within my group, I'll be motivated to work with it. So in that case, I'm motivated by external factors, extrinsic things that are out there. Or if we are going to work and after whatever we achieve, whatever we are going to get from that, that if you work on this particular program, once you conclude this, the reward that you're going to get. So in that case, that external thing that are going to get, that's what will is going to uh, motivate me. So also in a team, because later on we are going to discuss about team, you have to identify those parameters. You have to know your employees and to know what is going to motivate this particular employee or what motivates this particular employee so that you are able to certify those employees and then motivate them and get deliver your goals or your objectives. Next, we want to look at motivation factors. What are these factors that will make employees get motivated? One is salary. That goes without saying. All of us work for the purpose of salary. So when we get salary, we feel motivated. When salary delay, we feel demotivated. When salary does not come at all, we demoralize, we get depressed and all that. So our level of production goes down. So number two is recognition. We always strive to be recognized. If after this particular training, if you go to office, for those who are going on Monday, and then you report to office and nobody even bothers to ask you what you are trained on, you will feel demotivated. But if you go to office and people start asking you what did you train on, what was the repercussion of the training, then you are able to discuss even the whole day. You'll just get motivated that if another training comes up, you will also enroll for that particular training. If another opportunity comes up for training, you will enroll for that. If any other particular activity come up, you feel motivated. You even want to train whatever you have been trained just because you have been recognized. But if you, after this training, nobody recognizes you, nobody feels, we treat as if it's normal, whatever you have been through is normal, or we feel that's the order of the day, in that case, you not feel motivated. Then the third one is work ethics. Where there's work ethics, people feel highly motivated. For example, if I know I'll put in my efforts and my effort will be rewarded according to whatever I put in that case, because there's ethics, then I'll be feel motivated. But if at all I work and the manager will take over the reward on my behalf, or I'll, after working hard, they have concluded this particular training. If I go to get the payment, and now I'm told the manager has taken a fraction or whatever, or somebody has taken some part of that particular whatever was to be paid, then it kills the motivation. So where there's a lot of ethics, where there's ethics, we appreciate your effort, we acknowledge your effort. In that case, there will be a lot of motivation. Another thing is transparency. So transparency, that's where we lay everything on the table. We say this the training you are supposed to attend, and these are the repercussions for attending the training, or these are the reward for attending the training. Once you've concluded the training, this is what will happen. In that case, there's transparency. We have laid everything on the table. You will feel motivated to attend that particular training. But if we tell you that you can attend this particular training, the organization will pay, then by the end of the month, you will find your salary has drastically reduced, and we tell you we deducted the cost for conducting the training, you will not feel motivated uh, to the work. Your level of production will automatically go down just because we are never faithful at the beginning. So if we knew you are to pay for that particular training, we should have told you in advance you are going to pay for this particular training. So in that case, you know, in that case you know you'll be deducted for it. But if we didn't, then we deduct you at the end of the day. In that case, you feel demotivated. Another thing is culture. Culture makes people get motivated. We have those people who come from culture where we have to work hard, you have to strive to achieve that particular objective. So in that case, that particular culture makes you get motivated. Then the other thing is learning. When you learn, like now you have learned, you have something new, you get to office on Monday or tomorrow, like Treasure is going tomorrow, or those who are going on Monday. When you go, you have something to talk to your employees, you have something to talk to your colleagues, you have something new to introduce to your colleague. In that case, you get motivated, and you also motivate those colleagues that tomorrow they'll also be looking at coming to enroll for that particular training. Then we have work-life balance. Work-life balance, that's the ability for you to balance your family and also to balance your work. That we are not giving you so much work that you have to forego your family. We are not giving you so much, we are not engaging you so much in office that you have to forget about your family. You get. So we have to give you adequate work that you can manage that work, and you can also manage your family. You can manage to achieve your objectives at work. You can also manage to achieve the objectives at your family. We don't have to promote you today, yet your spouse is in court filing for divorce because you are an absent parent. We don't have to promote you today, yet your son or daughter is being suspended in school because of a lack of parental guidance, and so he has engaged into some vices. So if we can provide you work-life balance where you are able to bring up your family and you are also able to perform at your work, in that case you feel motivated. The other is career growth, that if you are able to be promoted, there are opportunity for promotion. In that case, you'll feel motivated. But if you have placed you in a workstation, and probably if you evaluate, you find that the people who are in that particular department have never been promoted. People have worked in that particular department for years and years. They have never seen promotion. In that case, you will not be motivated because you know the chances of you growing is limited. So we must create an opportunity for growth. Then next one is health. If we are taking care of your health, then you feel motivated. If we subject you to health hazard, then your level of motivation will be low. For instance, if we have to make you to work long working hours, you are sitting on the seat since morning till evening, that means you are impairing on your body. In that case, you will not be motivated. But if we bring in some refresher, at least once you have worked for 2 3 hours, you can have a break and do that. Or we provide you adequate meals or balanced diet in office. We can provide you some fruits in office. We have given you a medical cover. You can get medical attention. In that case, you'll feel motivated. The last one is communication. The way we deliver information to you will motivate you. If you just wake up one morning when you report to work and then you get an email, you are supposed to report to the next town. You have been transferred, and we didn't communicate that in advance, your level of motivation will go down. If you just wake up one morning, then we tell you now we have moved you from one department to another without any further clarification why we are relocating you to another department, you'll feel demotivated. But if we had communicated to you that this department has a deficit and your department has a surplus, so we have seen you can easily migrate to the next department. In that case, because we have made you aware, we have prepared you, so that you feel motivated even to move to that particular department. But if we don't communicate, in that case, you're not going to be encouraged to move to the next department. So employee motivation, some of the things that motivate employees, some of them we have already discussed them under the motivators, but we'll look at some of those which we have not discussed. So one, we have flexibility, work-life. And in that case, we have looked at work-life balance, that you are able to balance your family, at the same time you're also able to balance to your work, that you are not growing your family at the expense of your work, neither are you growing your work at the expense of the family. So we have some absent parents. They don't feel happy. As much as they will make more money, as much as they will travel all over the world, those people are never happy. They are never happy with that particular kind of life. That you have gone to America, you are to Canada and whatever, but now come to the country, your son or daughter has been drawn into drug addiction just because you're not there to give guidance. You will not feel motivated. Then pay and benefits, the salaries that come in, the other benefits, fringe benefits, if you work extra hard, like you have talked of bonus, you have talked of trophy, certificate, and all that. Those are the benefits that you have. They motivate employees. Then the utmost one, job security. An employee will like to plan. So probably because you are in employment, some of you will take loans, and you have planned these loans I have to pay back, and you are depending on the salary that is going to come to pay that particular loan. So if you lose your employment, it becomes difficult. The bank might come to auction you. So in that case, you require job security, and if there's job security, then you are motivated. If you work and recently 2 or 3 members in your department were terminated, contracts were terminated under ulterior motive, under things that you cannot explain, or you don't understand how it came for them to lose job, then even you will not be motivated. Especially, and you can look at it in the country, companies that ever tried to do retrenchment, those companies never stood up. Those companies have never risen up, because when they do retrenchment, they create fear for those employees who remain. As much as they reduce on cost, but they also reduce revenue significantly, because now those who remain start fearing, start looking for next alternative. They know they are next. They have the survival syndrome. They suffer survival syndrome. So survival syndrome, that's where you feel you are next. You start fearing what will happen in case manager comes very harsh in the morning. You know the mood is not right. Probably I'm next to be shown the door. So in that case, you will not be motivated. Then work itself is a motivator. The work you are doing can motivate you or demotivate you. If at all the work you are doing, that's what you trained to do. That's what you have dreamt to do, and that's you enjoy doing it. You become motivated. But if at all you have been given work that you don't enjoy doing, you don't have any passion for it, you'll be demotivated. Then the next one is career advancement. So if career advancement, you have talked about it, if there are opportunities to be promoted, you will become motivated. If there are no opportunities for promotion, you will not be encouraged or motivated to work more. Then working conditions are looking, when do you report in, when do you leave, how are you being supervised. Remember, we looked at employees and said there are some employees who require to be delegated. Just give them direction, this is what you are supposed to do, and let them do whatever they can do. We have those who like to get support. Those are the conditions. We have those who must be given direction. We have those who must be given both direction and support. So those are the conditions that you must provide. So you must identify those employees that require support, they require delegation, they require support and direction. They don't require direction. In that case, once you provide those work conditions, then they'll feel motivated. If somebody who just required to be delegated, you start offering support, you start, okay, you offer just support, they feel they are not worth it. They feel you are wasting their time, because they didn't come, then you didn't call them to support, to give you, to work with you, if you are able to work on your own. So you have to identify that. Then the next one is reward management. Reward management. And reward management is a development, implementation, maintenance, communication, and evaluation of reward process. So if we are talking about development, we are talking about implementation, we are talking about maintenance, we are talking about communication, we are talking about evaluation. Or in that case, we are talking about a reward process. And this reward process, it includes this assessment of relative job values. If we can look at whatever you are doing, we can look at the values that you are bringing to the organization. So that the values that you are bringing to the organization, that brings us the value. That means it's part of the reward management. Then we are looking at the design and the management of pay structure. So design and management of pay structure, we have to ensure, for instance, you could be a supervisor, but you're earning higher than your manager, you're higher than your superior. So in that case, that particular structure, that reward system is not effective. You could be working at a higher position, but you are earning the same salary as the person who is working at, who is reporting to you. So in that case, that particular reward system is not effective. So we must look at the design of the work you are doing. Then you also have to look at the pay structure that's in place. So there must be distinction between the person who is at the lower cadre and the person who is at the upper cadre. Then we also need to look at the performance management, and performance management we discussed yesterday, and we discussed about evaluating, encouraging people to produce, how we are going to produce, how the cycle, how we looked at the cycle of performance management, how we initiate, how we create the desire for you to perform, we make you perform, we reward you, we evaluate you, we reward you, and all that. So you must undertake that. Then you have the paying for competence, skills, and employee benefits, which in overall is a legal framework. So the ability for us to pay for your competency, that if there's somebody who is delivering that particular work much easier than the other, then we don't have to reward those two people the same way. So in that case, we have to reward that. If we have somebody who has a better skill, then we have to reward for that particular skill. If we all employees that are supposed to get some benefits, we must provide those benefits. And that's why you find, if you inquire in your organization, you find that you have a medical cover, but your CEO could be having a superior medical cover, for instance, because your CEO travels a lot. So in that case, he's likely to have a superior medical cover, so that if he has gone outside the country, he still can access medication. But because you travel locally, you are mostly in the country, then your medical cover will only be able to take care just in case you are within the country. The hospitals that are within the country, you can access that particular medical cover. So after the reward, the next parameter we are going to look at is the reward system effectiveness. Now, for the reward system, are you able to see that?
Yes,
Okay.
we can see.
So then, yeah. Okay. So, thank you. So reward system effectiveness. Now, with the reward system effectiveness, we want to look at some of the factors that make the reward system work better for the organization and also for the employees. So one, we must have competitive externally to recruit and retain. That if at all wherever you are working, let's say you are in a university with some of your colleagues. So once you have graduated and they have gotten, let's say, to public service commission, and they are being paid 50,000 as a starting salary. Then for you, because you have gone to KRA is paying you 60,000. That means there are lesser chances that you will admire moving from career to public service, because whatever they're paying you is more competitive compared to the outside. But if career is paying you 40,000 and public service commission is paying 50,000, that means public service commission is more competitive. So in case they advertise for vacancy, you will be the first person to apply there. The other one is compliance. And when you talk of compliance, that means you're looking at the law. Is it legally? Is it fair? Is it, for instance, in the country, you have the minimum reward, minimum wage. So if you are able to get that particular minimum wage, then in that case, we'll say that reward system is fair. But as much as we have minimum wage, we cannot pay all our employees in all cadres the minimum wage. We will have in an organization employees who have different skills, different profession, different qualification, different experience than others. So we should reward them according to their according to what they have, what they are able to offer to the organization. So in that case, for us to feel equitable or fair, we shouldn't reward, let's say, female employees lesser than male employees, unless if we can justify that male employees will have to work more than female employees. But if it's work that can be done by either gender, then our reward should be fair. We should be equal for all. Then it should be controlled that for reward system to be efficient, reward system should be efficient to manage and then administer. So we should put in some control measure so that employees don't just wake up one morning and say, we want to have a salary increment. Then you say, yes, we have approved your salary increment. It will reach a time, yes, we have given them salary increment, but we don't have money to pay those salaries. So they will suffer for it. So we should have put in some control mechanism so that we don't just give a word that we are not able to implement. Then changes in response to different needs. So whenever there are changes within the environment, we should also change to adopt to that. For example, if you have been paying your salary of 50,000, then there's a lot of inflation, prices of base commodities have gone up, prices of rental units have gone up, and we still insist on paying you that particular amount, you will not be able to work because you will not be motivated to work because that particular pay is not effective. That salary cannot sustain your life standard. So in that case, we should pay you. We should be able to adjust or change according to how the circumstances take us. Then cost effective and affordable. So we have said that for our pay or reward system to be effective, then it must be cost effective. We must look at how much is it going to cost us. Can we support that particular budget? If we cannot support that particular budget, food and valued by employees, that we need to communicate our reward system to our employees. Let the employees appreciate this what you can do. Let employees appreciate that if we are giving you this particular salary, we are giving you because this is what you can afford. These are the circumstances under which we have calculated to arrive at that particular figure. It should be easier for employees to understand why they are being paid whatever they are being paid. So for that to be effective, remember, if you pay employees or if you don't explain that to employees, they will start doing calculation. This is the much you are contributing, this is the much revenue you are generating for this particular company, and this is the much they are paying us. So if they feel they are being underpaid, then they'll start looking for unethical mechanisms like what we looked at Enron. They start looking at easier ways. As much as within the Enron, the top managers got out with a lot of money, there are also other junior employees who made a lot of money who are unethical. But those who are ethical, some of them committed suicide eventually, just because they thought they are working in the interest of the company, but the company was not working in their interest. Then we also have to get commitments or engage and motivate employees. So we need to engage our employees. We need to commit to those employees. We need to motivate them. We must pay them salaries that is adequate, sufficient. So at times, the employees usually agitate for better salary. Now, the easiest way or the easiest way most employers do to cool down that particular agitations, they usually conduct an industry survey. Industry survey, that means they look at what are the other players paying. So, for example, if I'm working at Kim and I start agitating for better salary at Kim, then Kim will conduct an industry survey. They look at other colleges, other universities, how much are they paying. So, if at all Kim is paying much better than other colleges, then they come and communicate to us, to engage us and tell us, yes, look here, the other college is paying 20,000. Here we are paying 30,000. So that means we are paying better than the industry is able to pay. So we are not able to give you an increment because that cost will not be able to facilitate. So in that case, they are being engaged, either engaging us, and also they will also during that engagement they will also allow us to give to refute, because we also have colleagues, we have classmates, we have friends or whatever who are working with those other colleges, and we do compare. If we compare their workload and our workload and all that, so in that case we are able to tell, are we sufficiently paid? So we need to engage your employees and commit them so that that reward system is effective and it can draw motivation. Another one is customized to need of the different employees. So different employees will have different needs. We have those employees who like to get a one-off salary, a more monthly salary. We have some employees who cannot manage that salary for 30 days. So they would like to get after 2 weeks they get an advance, then at the end of the month they get salary. So in that case, if that's those employees who would like to earn that way, so we also need to customize that so that they meet their needs. We have those, as long as they have money in the account, until they reduce to manageable level, they will never report to work. Until they have reduced that money to manageable level, they will never report to their families. So such circumstances we need to put in consideration when we are rewarding our employees. We have employees who come and declare that for me, my salary, I wouldn't like it to get to my account because I cannot control myself once I get. I would like my spouse to be collecting. So you will need to manage that. And in that circumstance, you can also advise them now you take your card to your spouse so that once you remit money to your account, your spouse will access that particular money. So we have to customize that so that we are able to meet our employees' needs to motivate them. But if an employee has declared, for me, I would like to be paid in two installments, that's half salary at the middle of the month and half salary at the end of the month, then you insist for you that your policy you must pay a lump sum. That case, you are not going to motivate that particular employee, and you are not going to achieve much. And that employee will feel that your reward system is not effective enough. Then we have contribution and a performance reward. So we have to look at the contribution of employees. What are the employees? What have employees contributed to us? How have they generated revenue? What are they doing? Some of the initiatives that they have they have brought to the business. Some of their contributions that whatever initiative they have brought to the business, then you have to reward those particular things. You have to look at them so that we are rewarding on work done. We are not just giving salary for the sake of. Then the last one is convergent with the business strategy and the required value, skills, and behavior. So our reward system should also be convergent, should be supporting our business strategy. That if we are strategizing, if we are saying that we want to open several branches, we want to develop managers, but now we are not able to pay the supervisors adequate salary for them to go and take up trainings so that they can become managers. In that case, that reward system will not be adequate, will not be fair, will not be effective, because we'll open those branches, then we'll be forced now to go and hire managers from outside at a higher rate that we may not be able to afford. So those are the reward system effectiveness. So we want now to look at the motivators. Motivators. So when you're discussing about motivators, these are the things that motivate individuals. We have looked at what motivates the team, and now we want to look at what motivates us as a person, what will motivate you as an individual. So one, we have personal growth, and we have discussed about career growth. So in that case, if there's an element of growth, that means the employees will be motivated. We have also discussed about recognition, that if you finish this particular training on Monday, nobody asks you what you have trained on, nobody appreciates that you went for training, that case you will not be motivated. But if you go and people are asking what you did and you are able to explain and you come up with the several parameters, that case will be motivated to work and also motivating other employees. Another thing is family. So we are motivated by family. If your family is growing, you have children growing, you have your spouse, and you are able to develop your children are in school, the best schools you can afford to pay, they're progressing very well, you feel motivated. If your family is not working well, you have issues with your family, you will not be motivated even at work or whichever activity you undertake. The other thing that also motivates people is sex. You have seen a number of times where an employee or a manager will recruit a particular employee because he's a sex partner, or recruit a particular partner, or promote a particular person just because they have engaged, they gave in to have sex with him. So that means sex is also a motivator. So we shouldn't ban our employees to that particular perspective. The other motivator is freedom, just freedom to do whatever you can do. That gives you motivation, that motivates you. Remember, at the beginning, we all were almost stuck. If at all there were no allowance that we can create another link and start off our meeting, that means you are getting frustrated and also getting frustrated. That means the motivation will not be there. Or if I was to create this particular link and then at the end of the day I'll be subjected to disciplinary action, that means I will not be motivated to do. I will have just let us chat and get furious until the time we have gotten some uh, some reprieve. So in that case, if you grant your employees freedom to do whatever they do, as long as it's right, as long as it's supported by the policy or procedure, then they'll become motivated. Another one is fulfillment. Fulfillment is an inner peace. Just desire the feeling that you have achieved, the feeling that just the feeling that you feel you have achieved at a particular for a particular event, just the feeling that you have at the end of this particular training, the feeling that you'll have when you achieve your target, that's the fulfillment. The feeling you have once you have taken your children to school, the feeling you have once you have gotten some activities done that felt difficult, that gives you motivation. That's also motivating. The feeling I'll have, for instance, after finishing this particular training, that will motivate me to do even more. Then achievement. These are the things that you have able to conquer. You started off, you have gotten to the final line. You started off, you have gotten to a particular. You started off low, you have achieved a particular goal. You started low, you have been promoted. Those are the achievements. They motivate us. They give us morale to continue. The other thing is influence. Just imagine if you are able to talk to your employees and they listen to you. Just imagine the way I feel because I'm able to talk to you and you give me audience. That motivates me. Yeah. Also, when you go to office and you talk to your employees and they listen to you, you are able to say, let's do this and they follow. That motivates you. That gives you energy to work even much harder. Another thing is success, the success story, the ability that you have brought in success. Mariam told us yesterday the success she has done, the revenue she has collected, and much revenue that gives you motivation and you make me motivated. So also in your organization, set them targets. Let the employees surpass those targets. They will become motivated. Don't set targets that are abnormal, are out of this world. They cannot achieve that because they are stretching. In that case, you will be demotivate your employees because they may feel we have never achieved, you have never gotten this. Yeah. So if employees succeed, they become motivated. Then also love. Love comes into way. It could be affection or just the feeling that we make you feel you are valued. That's the love. In your organization, we make you feel you have some. We value. We make you feel you are a human being. We make you feel treat you like you are a king or queen. That is love that you are exhibiting. Just in case you are ill, we are able to send you get well soon messages. We are able to come and record, talk to you. We encourage you. That's the love you have. So if you have such a scenario, then employees will be motivated. Those are small things that we do. They motivate our employees. Another thing is money. Money, we have discussed about a salary. So in that case, salary comes with the money. So the money you have will also get you motivated. Or the salary you get will motivate you. The extra amount you are able to make, like say somebody had suggested we get up and aim for this particular training. If you are to get that, just to see the motivation level you will have. So in that case, you will be motivated just because of that small amount you have acquired. The last one is power. Power motivates you. And we said power, there are different sets of power. There's legitimate, there's affluent, and all that. So if you have that particular power, you are able to command. You are able to command some things to be done. You are able to give direction. You are able to be consulted. In that case, you get motivated just because of the power that you have. Just because if you don't report it to work, nothing will happen. If you don't report to work, nobody will be able to work. You have to report to work to open door for them. You have to report to work. You have to make some decision that gives you motivation. Now, as we talk of motivation, we cannot talk more of motivation without referring to Abraham Maslow, who is a psychologist researcher and came up with a pyramid to show how this motivation takes place and how this satisfaction takes place. And this psychologist called Abraham Maslow came up with this particular pyramid that you're able to see now. And within this pyramid, he categorized our needs into 5 particular areas. At the basic, we require physiological needs. These are physiological needs. And these are breathing, food, water, sex, sleep, homeostasis, excretion. Those are the things that we require for us to be certified. That if we are not able to provide those basics, then there's nothing we can provide to make those employees certified. And that's why when you ask between a trophy and 10,000, most of you said 10,000 because you are still struggling with the food, you are still struggling with the house, you are still struggling with those basics. And that's what you said. You are at the bottom, you're still struggling with those basics. So any little amount of money that can provide those basics will satisfy you. But now, once you have provided those, you have your own house, you have put in some savings. Even if you don't go to work for the next 5 years, you will not sleep hungry. In that case, you have provided all those basics. You will go to the next level. The next level is safety. Safety, we are concerned about security. And we're not just concerned about security like the national security, we are concerned about security of body. Are you free from harm? Are you likely to be injured? Are you free from injury? So if at all you are not exposed to injury, then you are secure. Then you are also concerned about employment security. Are you assured that you will work till your retirement? Or are there chances that at any given time we can decide to terminate your contract? So that gives you the security. That makes you certified. Another one is resources. And you said you could have done some savings and you are sure that even if you don't work for the next 5 years, you still have to eat, you still have to provide for your family, you still walk around. In that case, you have adequate resources, you have security of resources. And those resources have been placed in a place that is secure, not the way people had invested either in Lehman Brothers or the way people had invested in Enron. So if your sources are secure, then you will feel better. Then morality, safety of morality. That are you not going to be harassed? Are you going to okay? Where you are working, is your religion respected? Is your personal beliefs respected? So that we are not engaging you, we are not harassing you or treating you as inferior just because of religion. We are not treating you inferior just because of your beliefs. We are not going to subject you to trauma just because of what you believe in or what you are undergoing. Then the family, security of family. Are you in a stable marriage? If you are in a stable marriage, you will always be motivated. But if you are facing some divorce cases, in that case you are likely to feel insecure, and in that case you will not achieve that particular objective. Then your health. Is your health safe? Are you being exposed to health hazard? So in case you are exposed to health hazard, then you will not feel secure. Then the last one is property. And property, that's part of resources. You have a house and your house is protected, so in that case you feel secure. Remember yesterday or the other day I was watching a need presentation by a particular member for parliament in Uganda, and he was saying, in Uganda people don't sleep. And he was elaborating why people don't sleep. That the poor are not able to sleep because they are hungry. So if you are hungry, you cannot get some sleep. But now the rich are not able to sleep because the poor are not able to sleep. Because the rich always feel that the poor are coming to take over their resources so that they can go and have a meal. So the rich have built a very tall wall fence. They have put the electrical fence. They have put there some razor wire. Apart from that, they have several German Shepherd dogs for security. Apart from that, they have also personal guards, and those who are lucky or better, their security guards have guns. But still, at night, whenever there's wind, and that wind blows some leaves to follow their house, they have to wake up to go and confirm if those poor have come in. Despite of that security detail, they still fear. So in that case, we are concerned about the safety of our property, that nobody is going to tamper with our property, nobody is going to take over our land, nobody is going to take over our resources. Another, the third category is love and belonging. That feeling, that friendship, the friendship we are going to form from this particular group, that will make us feel motivated. The family that you have, that will make you motivated. The sexual intimacy, that will also make you motivated. And it's a desire that you must fulfill that. Then, after you have achieved this, remember, you must certify one to move to the top. So once you have certified love and belonging, you have a family, you have a job, your house is secure, you have food, you have everything. Now you look at esteem and self-esteem, yeah, and self-confidence. Self-esteem, that's feeling, that the feeling you have, I've achieved all this. That's what you're referring as esteem. That confidence that you have, you are secure, you have achieved all this. So that's what you're looking for. That achievements. Now, at this particular level, if we give you an award, if we give you a trophy, if we give, you will feel comfortable. You will not feel comfortable getting money because already you are not disturbed by a landlord to pay rent. You already have your own house. So even if you give money, you will not know what to do. But if you give a trophy, you'll feel you have recognized you. If we give you a certificate, you'll surely go and get a frame to frame that particular certificate. You'll safeguard it. But if you are struggling with the food, if we give you a certificate, you don't have even money to go and buy a frame to find that. So you are likely to keep it carelessly. So you are also concerned about respect of others, yeah, and respect by others. You would like to be respected, and you also like to respect others at that particular level. Remember, somebody who is struggling with the basics, he doesn't have he is not never shy, because he can get crushed to a particular function if food is provided. But once you have gotten to the level of esteem, you wouldn't like to get crushed. Even if you get crushed, even if you go to your family friends and you find they are eating, you still wait for your food to be prepared separately. Or you say you are already certified. So because you want to get respected, and you also want to respect others. The topmost, self-actualization. So self-actualization, that means you have achieved it. You are at the apex. You are at the top. You have achieved everything. And in that case, you are only concerned about morality. You are concerned, does people respect your religion? Does people respect your belief? Does people respect your upbringing and all that? You are concerned about creativity. Are you able to come up with the new things and people accept it? And you find that people who are at this particular level are very creative. They can come up with anything and it will be accepted. You are concerned about spontaneity, that whatever is happening, there's continuity about it. There's okay, we don't have a lot of disruption in whatever is happening. If you have planned to go for a particular meeting, that meeting has to take place. If you have planned to go to a particular rally, that rally has to take place, so that you don't go there and it has been postponed or cancelled. Then at that particular level, you are problem solving, because you have achieved all this. You have much experience, so you become a problem solver. At that particular moment, you lack prejudice. You can't criticize anybody. You like to support everybody because you are at the peak. It's very rare for somebody who is at the top to discourage those who are at the bottom. For example, if we have a master trainer, if there are limited chances that he will criticize me. Mostly he will encourage you to say, yes, you have done this, but I wish you did this, you have achieved much better. But somebody who is at the bottom will prefer to criticize. So if you are at the self-actualization, you will not have the prejudice, you will not be criticizing others. Then you will also accept acceptance of facts. If you lose, you accept you have lost because you are at the top. If you gain, you accept you have gained. You do not need to go to court to verify that you have not lost unfairly. If you have lost, you have lost. You accept and move on. So because you are at a self-actualization. So also we have to categorize your members in this particular category and to know where each member is. If a member is struggling with the family, that is looking is struggling for safety, so or love and belonging, you have to provide that. If you provide whatever that particular member of the society require or member of organization require, he will be motivated and you will achieve much more. So that marks the end of presentation on motivation. I will give an opportunity for question, then you can break for about 5 minutes, and then when you come back, we look at the last bit, which is team building. Then we do an evaluation and adjourn. So question, we can start with the pressures today. Question or concern?
Well understood. The
Yeah.
motivation part. I don't have a question.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am okay.
Okay, thank you. Joan? Joan?
I'm also okay. I don't have any question.
Okay, thank you. Mariam?
All is understood on my side, sir.
Okay, thank you. So let's have a short break of 5 minutes. So when we come back, we'll discuss about team building. Then once you have finished that, we'll do an evaluation. There's an exam, as I said. So be prepared. Then we adjourn the meeting we adjourn the training. So you can have a cup of tea or coffee, whatever you can. confirm you are back. We start our second last session.
Yes, we're back.
Okay, thank you. Another member who is back? Mariam, Precious? Okay.
Yes,
I'm back.
we're back.
All of us are back. So we are discussing now team building. And team, I'm told, is an acronym which says together, everyone achieves more. That means if we have a cohesion, we will achieve more. And in Kiswahili, we say kucha moja haliui chawa. That means if you only have one particular set of nail or one particular nail, you cannot be able to press and kill lice or mice. So in that case, we require to work together. That for us, the strength that I do have is not the same strength that Mariam has. The strength that Joanne has is not the same strength that Precious has. So if we bring our strength together, then we are able to achieve more. That there are things that I can do on my own, but now if we work together with you, we will be able to achieve much more than what we anticipated. And that's why what we are going to discuss at, and that's what we are looking at as a team. So we start by defining the team management, because whatever we are concerned is a team management, not necessarily just a team. So team management is ability of an individual or an organization to administer and coordinate a group of individuals to perform a task. Team management involves teamwork, communication, objective setting, and performance appraisal. So for team management, that's the ability of bringing together, that ability of mobilizing you to come for this particular training is what we're referring as team management. That ability of coordinating you or for getting those people who report to you or other members of organization to undertake a particular activity. That's what you are referring as team management. That if tomorrow or Monday you report to office, then you are able to mobilize your members to sit down to be trained. Remember, that's a team management. If you are able to influence those members to pass the message, whatever you have learned from this particular training, then that's what you are referring as a team management. And this team management, it involves teamwork, working together harmoniously. If you are able to solve some of the barriers or challenges within the team, and you are able to steer the members to work harmoniously, that's what you are referring as teamwork. Then the communication, how you are able to pass message, how you are able to receive message from the team members, that means you have teamwork. Setting the objectives, and we said when you set objectives, they must be smart. Who can remind us that acronym SMART? Who can break it down for us? What does it stand for? SMART.
Specific,
Specific.
Yes.
measurable,
Uh-huh.
achievable,
Yes.
realistic, time
Uh-huh.
bound.
Yes. If you are able to set those particular targets together, that means you are undertaking a team management. Then you also are able to appraise performance. So if you are able to appraise performance, that means you're also conducting team management. Because with the appraisal, we said we looked at the process. We start with setting the objectives, now letting the members communicate to the members, now let the members perform, then evaluate the members, give communication back to the member and all that. So in that case, you cannot do that as an individual. You have to do as a team. Now let's look at the effective team. The effective team. And the effective team, that's where membership and self-development. That there are teams that you join, there are groups that you join, but you are concerned for an effective team. That's where all of you are growing, or all of you, their self-development. That if you work in an effective team, all of you will be promoted. You'll find that there's a particular department that members, in case there are opportunity for promotion, most members are promoted. In that case, that's an effective team. That's why all of them are promoted. There's a particular team, you will find a department or a group where people, the way they behave, the way they conduct themselves, you just see them, leadership with them. So that particular team is an effective team. Then an effective team has innovative behavior. That in case we have a problem, we are able to come up with a solution. Like we had a problem in the morning, we have come up with a solution. That means that there's an effective team. But if we know I will come up with the problem with the solution and it will be declined, that you have to do the way we are usually doing, in that case there's no effective training. But if there's no effective team. But where we have an effective team, we will be innovative. Where we have never encountered a particular problem, people will suggest solution and will get out of that particular wood. Then it's also risk sharing, that we are not just taking the risk. You are not just allowing members of your team to take the risk, but when the reward comes, you take. No, you are going to share the risk. If you are working as a team and you have made a decision, this is what you are going to do. In case you are asked to explain, you say, yes, we decided as a team. We are not going to sacrifice any member of that particular team for the interest of others. We are going to accept it as a team. So in that case, an effective team must have risk sharing. Then members are committed. If you have agreed that you are going to do, like this team is, I find it very committed. When I give an assignment, all of you do, and all of you come up with a very elaborate response or representation. That means you have formed an effective team. We are all committed. We are all able to deliver whatever we have been tasked to deliver on. So that means we have effective team. Then there's effective communication, that you don't have to pass out message, then you start asking for elaboration. Kindly clarify here. So if you pass a message, you send a message, then you have to ask you to clarify, then that means we have a problem with that particular team. Either it's you, the communicator, who is not communicating effectively, or the other members are disconnected from the team. Remember, there are some terminologies that you are used to. There are some jargons that you are used to at office. So those jargons, when you use, the members of the office should understand those jargons, because those are the words that you are used to. The same way there are jargons that I'm used to. Members of my team should understand those jargons. So if I have said a jargon and I feel you have not understood, just a minute. I got notification. I thought somebody was supposed to join. So progress. So if I at all have used a particular jargon and I feel you have not understood it, in that case I should be first person to explain so that you don't have to ask to come again. Then you have effective cross-functional or interface and alliance. Okay, so I've said effective, cross-functional, interface, and alliance. That an effective team can work. We can work in all areas. That if you are working in a particular department, you can still support the other departments. If you are formulating a team, interdepartmental team, in that case, anybody can work in all those areas. So in that case, you know what happens on the other parts. So in that case, we have an effective team. But if you have a team where people say, my work starts from here and it ends here, we have drawn boundaries, where we have drawn a scope that I cannot do beyond here. I cannot report to work at 8 and leave at 6. If I report at 8, I should leave at 5, regardless of whatever happens. In that case, we don't have an effective team. So for us to have an effective team, it must be able to cross along. We must create alliances. We must have other members from other departments. We must have other members from other sections. We must allow people from other religion. We must allow people from other gender for us to form an effective team. If we are only concerned about our gender, we are only concerned about some common characteristics, common features. In that case, we don't have an effective team. Then another thing, effective team is quality oriented. It's concerned about quality. We are concerned about the productivity. What are we able to relieve? What are we able to deliver? That's an effective team. So we are not just doing for the sake of, for instance, if I were just to conduct this training for the sake of finishing the process because we collect revenue, in that case we will not be concerned about quality. In that case, that means there's a problem within the team. And for us to form an effective team, that means we must be concerned about quality. Whatever we do, we should not be repeated. Whatever I do, we should not get somebody to come and repeat what I've done. So in that case, we are concerned about quality. Then we must have minimal reliance on procedures. So if you have an effective team, we should not rely so much on procedures. That what does procedure say? Who should sign here? You get who should sign here? This should be signed by a particular person. This should be signed. It's only this person who has decided to sign this. Now, for an effective team, we will not don't rely much on these procedures. If the policy says yes, this person must sign, then we have to let that particular person sign. But now with the procedure, that's how we do how we carry out our tasks. So, in an effective team will not rely mostly on procedures. That there's a customer who require a letter to be written. So for an effective team will not say this is the secretary who should write the letter. If I have time, I can draft the letter, then take to the manager or the responsible person just for signing, so that I'm not concerned about if this person is. It's only this person who should write that particular letter. Then another thing that an effective team should have high need for achievements. So we are concerned about how much are we going to deliver. We have desire for achievement. We have desire for satisfaction. We have desire for results. That's an effective team. If you don't have desire for this effective production, then we will not be an effective team. Another thing is they enjoy work. That if we create an effective team, we all enjoy to work. We all enjoy to work. The work we do, we enjoy. We enjoy coming to work in the morning because have an effective team. Because we feel self-love, we feel motivated, we feel appreciated. So in that case, we enjoy the work we also do. Then they have high morale and team spirit. So an effective team will also have a high morale. That means you will have, even if a member has not reported, we look for him. If one of the members has not reported, if the member is not there because of the morale, we look for him, or we'll still cover that particular member. We don't have to expose any member. We have the high morale that if I come to work today and the person who wants to work with is not there, I still take over the role as if nothing has happened. We take over the initiative as if nothing has happened. So we have the high morale, have our team spirit, we support each other and all that. Then change oriented. Yeah. So a team, most effective team is change oriented. We want to introduce things. If we identify some gaps within our processes, if we identify some gaps within our procedures, we decide to change them. If we identify there are some procedures which are outdated, there are some procedures which doesn't make sense, then we'll endeavor to change that. So we are oriented to make those changes. Then we are also self-directed, that an effective team will be self-directed in that when we come up, when whatever activities we have to undertake, we all don't have to wait for us to be given direction. We don't have to wait for manager to come and flag us off. We can take the action. If we come to office in the morning and we find there's water, probably we left one of the taps on and water has flooded the office, we don't have to wait for manager to come and request us now to let's drive this particular place. If we are an effective team, we'll go in and start driving that particular place so that we are able to start serving. So an effective team is self-directed. We don't wait for petty direction. We don't wait for somebody senior to come and tell us what we want to do. Then another thing, an effective team has conflict management. I took you through various mechanisms to solve conflict. So if we have an effective team, that means we also be able to resolve those conflicts effectively. We don't have to keep on having meetings or engaging other members to come and solve a conflict. We can solve the conflict within ourselves. If at all we have formed a very great team, a strong team, and we have a challenge, if we manage ourselves, we'll compromise. We'll cede some grounds. We'll say, because it's my sister, it's because it's my brother, I'm willing to give up that because it's my friend, it's my ally. I'm willing to give up that so that he is moving. I'm able to move, give up this so that I'll get the other. So we are able to solve those conflicts without necessarily involving other members or outside. Then we have our high response rate. Where there's an effective team, there's high response rate. Remember this, in your organization, if you realize some members have started reporting to work late, if you realize there are some members who have started being absent and they're giving flimsy excuses, oh, I was stuck in the jam, oh, you guys happened, oh, this team, electricity was not there in the morning, or whatever. Some of the reasons they're giving are not reason to make somebody to be absent. That means the team has broken down. And that team is not very effective. When there's an effective team, the response will be very high. If you ask the members, we want to do this, members will contribute very fast because there's an effective team. But if there's a breakdown, that means the response will be low. You can ask, I can send a message, for example, to ask a question. Then one person will respond. I have to make a phone call for the others to respond to. That means there's no effective team. But if I send a question, and all members are eager to respond to it, that means you have formed an effective team. So we still progress with the team management and mechanism to manage the team. One, we have to pass communication. Remember, in all areas we have discussed, we have mentioned communication. So that means communication is very crucial in a team. So we must pass communication effectively so that we are not asking members and they have to ask to call for a repeat or somebody is to repeat or seek clarification. So our communication must be straight and clear at the first instance. Then we must motivate our employees or we must motivate our team. It must have motivation. There's a motive. What do you want to achieve? What we want to achieve is what is creating motive, what is creating motivation. Then we must provide feedback. Feedback is a two-way. For example, at the end of every session, I ask you to provide feedback. Was there hitch? I could be addressing you, and probably my mic is not working. I could be addressing you, but probably because the internet has disappeared, you are not getting. So if you provide the feedback, that means you are showing we are managing our team. Yeah. So we should need to provide feedback to our team members. If they are working well, yes, congratulate them. That's our feedback. If they are not working well, tell them, suggest for them what they need to do to work better. So in that case, we'll be creating a cohesive team or we'll be managing a team. There must be transparency. So you don't engage in a team yet you know this work you are supposed to do, so you want to play them so that once they have undertaken that particular work, then you prepare a report and say, I've achieved this as an individual. That means you want to be creating an effective team. For you to create an effective team, you must have transparency. You must have no communicate to the team. You must lay everything on the table so that every member of the team knows what is supposed to be done and what will be the achievement for that particular purpose. Then another thing is delegation. Where there's an for team management, you need to delegate some of the responsibility, identify some of the work, identify some of the members who require to be delegated, delegate to them some work, identify some of the work that can be done that you don't have to do it personally. So let other members participate in that. Let the other members do that particular task, take up that particular task. Yeah, but what you need also to remember when you delegate, that still remain your responsibility. So don't delegate and assume that you have passed that particular role, you have removed from your tasks. It's still your task. You have to follow up, see where the support is required to provide the support, where the guidance is required to provide guidance, where direction is required to provide the direction. Then flexibility. There must be flexibility in a particular team. So members should not set grounds that this is my boundary, this the bare minimum I can take. In an effective team, in a team management, we don't have bare minimum. We only say what can be done. What is there any other activity we can add? Is there any part we can add? So we don't have to set boundaries if we have to run an effective team. Then reward an effective team will share the reward. So if we have worked and you have achieved all together then we must also share the spoil as the same way we will share the reward. So if at all we fail because we are taking a risk together, then all of us take the spoil. But if we gain, then all of us take reward. So for us to manage the team, we shouldn't have the team leader benefiting more than the other team members. If there's benefit, let all benefits float all of us. If there are rewards, let all those rewards float all of us. If there are punishments, let all of us be punished. Then we also have training. We must conduct training for our teams every time, and then call for training, call for meetings, let members give them feedback. If there's a new thing, identify a member who has much information in that particular area, let him train the members. In that case, we will be managing the team because everybody now will be able to read from the same pace. So we want to look at now the types of groups and teams in an organization. There are several types of groups and teams. So the first, there are categories simply two. We have formal groups and we also have informal groups. And formal groups are created by managers. So when you talk of created by managers, that means they are anchored in, they could be anchored in policy or they could be anchored in procedures. And these teams are what we commonly refer as branches or departments. If we have a branch, that branch was created by management. If you have a department, that department was created by management. That's what we are referring to as a formal team. Then we have informal team. This created by organizational members. You as employees of an organization, you decided to form a chama, you decided to form a group. So in that case, that's what we refer as an informal group because it's only formed by you by the virtue that you work in the same organization, but it's not formed by management. So let's start by discussing some of the informal groups. One, we have cross-functional teams. Now, when you talk of cross-functional team, that's mostly we have referred to interdepartmental teams. So it's also called interdepartmental teams. That means they don't have as clear or they don't have a specific mandate. They can work in all the departments. They can resolve issues in all the areas. So we refer to them as a cross-functional team. They don't specify. They be in IT department. They'll be in finance department. They'll be in HR department. So that's why we refer to them as a cross-functional. They function in all environment, all areas. Then you have cross-cultural teams. Now, for cross-cultural teams, these are a team that is formed by management, but it focuses on people from different cultures. It focuses on people from different beliefs. It focuses people from different religion. So that's what we refer as a cross-cultural team. So in that case, it's able to look at it. For example, if it's a marketing team and it has a cross-cultural, we are able to bring in the different diversity so that if we are coming up with the mechanism to sell our units, we are able to sell according to different diversity that we do have. Then we have top management teams. When we are discussing about management, we categorize management into three categories. Who can remind us those three categories?
Pardon?
Joan, when we discussed about management, we discussed about three categories of management. Who can remind us?
We talked about
Traditional management,
Yeah.
team management, and servant management.
Yeah. Top level, middle, and the line manager. Yes. So in that case, we have a group which are referred as top managers. And we said top managers mostly they are concerned about formulating policies and making decisions. That's their main role, to formulate policies and then make decisions. So that's also another group that's formed by management. And for the case of KRA, we have a board, we refer to it as a board. So that board, that's what we refer to, commissioners. Those commissioner, group of commissioners, that's what we refer as top managers, or it's a whole team. Then we have research and development teams. These are groups that will conduct research to find out more. How are the customers perceiving our services? How are the customers buying our products? How are customers feeling about us? So we have a whole department or a whole team that will be conducting research on behalf of the organization or finding out much about how the organization is conducted. Then we have command groups. Command groups. Now, command groups, they could be middle managers, but now they have to come up with this decision that will be implemented. That whenever they discuss and say this is what we're going to do, that's what has to be implemented because it's a superior. They are superior decision making organ. For instance, within the middle level managers, we have a sort of regional managers or regional whatever, where they can caucus together. Like now, in the government, we have county government. The county government has a council of governors. Now, that council of governors becomes a command group. It's a group that has been formed by management. So now, the council of governors can actually request other governors or other counties to undertake some activities or not to undertake other activities. So that becomes or if they want to engage with the central government, they can engage through the council of governors. So not all governors have to come and line up to see the president or whatever. They can channel their grievances through the council of governors. So that's an example of a command group. Then you have a task forces, and task forces, these are formed just to achieve a particular objective. So we can form a task force to look into complaints, customer complaint. We can form a task force to look into customer feedback. We can form a task force to look into a different perspective or different things within the organization. Then we have virtual teams. Virtual teams, these are now groups that don't interact physically. Like now, what we are having now is a virtual team. We don't interact physically, but we interact online. So it could be through email, it could be through WhatsApp group, it could be through online meetings, but now these people don't necessarily have to interact. So we can form a team, let's say a team of groups in Canada. We have members in Canada and others in Kenya, so we can form a team so that those in Canada can share with us their experience. We also share with them their experience. So in such case, it's a virtual because we have not traveled to Canada, neither have Canadians traveled to us, to Kenya. So we now look at informal groups, and under informal groups, we have friendship groups. So we can form like now we have created some friendship. We can form a group. We already have our sub group. That group we can still maintain it and run it for a longer period, and from there we can continue with the other. We can bring in economic things or whatever to uplift or to empower members, or we can do the consultation and all that. Yes, Mariam, you want to talk to us, Mariam? Mariam, do you want to talk to us?
Not talk, I'm just listening. I think I just pressed and
Oh,
mute.
sir. Okay, sir, thank you. Then you have interest groups. Interest groups, those are the people who have just a minute. So when you talk of interest group, those are the people who have common interest or common appeal, common objective. So within the organization, you can have people who have common appeal. For instance, within the organization, within your area, we can have those people who come from the same community. So they can form up a group. Those people who use the same route when they are going home, so they can come and form a group. So they have common interests. That if I'm going home and you come from the same region with you can send me some parcel to deliver to your place. So we have a common interest. If we talk same language, then we have same interests. So in that case, we can form a group. If we go to the same religious, we attend the same religious meeting, in that case, we can form a common interest group. So we progress with group management, building a team. So for us to build a team, we must have goals. So for us to build a team, we must set goals. What do you want to achieve? We don't just come together for the sake of. We didn't come together for the sake of. Everybody had what you wanted to achieve. I had some knowledge that I could have shared with you. You needed some knowledge to be shared with you. That's why we came together, because we had a goal. Once you achieve that particular goal, then unless we form another goal, then the team is likely to collapse or to come to an end. If we don't have any other goal that you want to achieve, then we'll end the goal. So we must set a goal. Then there must be collaboration. Collaboration, that means there's something that I'm bringing in, there's something you're also bringing in. So we have a cohesion, we have ability to work together for us to form a team. Then there must be support. Support, that means if one of us is struggling, then we must come in to his or her aid, so that we don't let one of us struggling, then others are progressing. We must have support for all of us. Then there must be motivation. And we have said motivation is toward that's a motive and action. We must take action. We must have what we want to achieve, and we must take action for us to achieve that particular perspective. Then there must be solution. If we have problems, there must be solution to those particular problems. So for us to build a team, we must solve all our problems. Then there must be skills or skill. So there's a skill that either we are sharing, there's skill that we are tapping in, or there's skill that we are displaying, or there's skill that we are portraying. So we must have a skill now for us to build a team. So if we don't have the skill to manage that particular team, in that case, it becomes difficult for us to build a strong, cohesive team. Then there must be training. We have repeated training over and over. So for us to build a team, we must conduct training, and we have said we can identify a member within the team or who has much understanding on that particular area that we want to talk about. Then he talked to us about that. Then we must conduct coaching. We coach each other. And as you said, that nobody controls monopoly of knowledge. There's something that you know I don't know. There's something I know you don't know. So if at all we reach a point where you know you have much knowledge compared to me, then you coach me. Where I have much knowledge, I also coach you. So we must coach each other. There must be coaching in a team for us to build a whole strong team. We want to look at some of the suggested tips how to manage a team. The suggested tips how to manage a team. The first tip is hire the right people. And remember this, when you are hiring, we don't usually hire a person because it's not easier to hire a person. For example, if I ask you, how much are you worth? You cannot tell. How much can I pay your parents to? Hello, I got disconnected. I believe you can hear me now. Confirm if you can hear me.
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I got disconnected. So I thought there was a surge on power, on internet. So we progress. That I was saying that these are some of the suggested top 10 management tips, team management tips. One, hire the right people. And I was explaining about hiring the right people. That and I was saying that when you hire, we usually don't hire the person. There are elements of the person that you do hire. For Kim to have requested me to conduct this particular training, it was not me as an individual. There are some elements that they were looking at. And this element is what we usually refer to as attitude. When you hire somebody, you are only hiring the attitude of that particular person. You are not hiring the skill of that person, because skill you can train. When KRA was hiring you, for instance, they knew you didn't have some skills, but they knew they can train those skills. But attitude, there's no way we are going to train your attitude. It's you to choose. It's you to come up with. So when you are hiring the right person, we are all hiring the attitude of that particular person. So when you hire the right people, or the people with the right attitude, then we are going to create or to manage. It will become easier to manage our team. If we hire people who have temperamental attitude, it becomes easier. It becomes difficult for us to make them to relate with other team members. If we hire people who are always physical, who always want to resolve issues physically, who wouldn't like to discuss issues, in that case, it becomes difficult for us to manage that particular team. Get. Then number two, resolve team issues. The team will always have issues. For example, I will be lying, or I will be unfair to say that I've conducted this particular training without challenges. There must have been challenges, either technological or personal challenges. So in that case, there are some issues that have come in. Some you have highlighted and we correct, some you have not highlighted and you are likely to highlight. So in that case, those issues that arise, let's identify them and let's resolve them, and we should resolve them amicably. So if there's need to reconcile the team members, reconcile those members who have issues. If there's a need for members to give up, to cede some power, let those members cede some power for the purpose of the team, so that we have a cohesive team. Then another one, establish team goals. So if we don't have team goals, we will always have trouble, or we will not have even the team. If, for instance, we will not have something to achieve, or we don't have something in common that's bringing us together, which is a goal, then we will not see the need for us to come together. If we don't have goals, we don't have objectives to achieve, there's no need for us to meet. So we must establish those goals. Once you have achieved those goals and there's need to have the team, for example, if you are working in the same organization, you have one goal, you have achieved that particular goal, set up other goals so that there's need to have that particular team. But if you don't have those goals, you don't have those objectives, then the team will break down. The next one, provide feedback and reward. So feedback, if the team member or some of the team members are becoming errant, that means they're deviating from the objective of the team. Let's give them the feedback that yes, you are now the character you are exhibiting is deviant to whatever we expect you to exhibit. So if we give such feedback, then those teams will correct themselves. If there's a team members who are performing exemplary, let's reward them. And we have already looked at how we can reward. We can do it financially or non-financially. We can recognize them in team meetings. When you are meeting, you can organize them and say, this is the contribution that Precious has done to our team. This is the contribution that John has done to our team. This is the contribution Mariam has done to our team. So in that case, we are giving feedback, we are rewarding them. So that makes it easier to manage the other team members. If we don't do that, we start creating conflicts within the team. So, but if we reward and give feedback, we reduce the element of those conflicts. Then maintain open communication. Let's be open. If a member of the team is not doing well, we need to communicate to that particular member. You are not doing well. You are now exhibiting deviant behavior. So in that case, if we have such an open communication that I can talk to you, you can talk to me, in that case, we are able to manage that particular team. But if the communication is one way, I'm a dictator, I'm the Mr. Know-it-all, in that case, we cannot develop that particular team, because that particular team does not have free flow of information. So we must have an open communication so that we allow message to come from both sides. So in that case, we are able to maintain or to keep a team. Then do your part and more. So you should play your role effectively. You should play your role and more than what is expected. So we don't just do what is expected of you, but you can go beyond what is expected of you, so for you to be a whole team, to be known as to be a great team. Then another one, nurture positive vibes. to nurture positive vibes that encourage people to always be positive. Whenever there are challenges, don't look at those challenges. Look at the positive side of those challenges. Let the people just look at the positive side. Yes, we know there are problems. We know we have challenges. We have family problems. We have family, but now we don't always have to focus on those particular areas. We can focus on the positive side of those activities. We can look at and the organization and look at the members. Yes, we know we have differences, but because of different in diversity. But now we don't look at those diversity as the cause of the problems or the cause of the challenges that we do have. We can look at the positive side. You can say that because we have this team is diverse, then we can tap in the benefit of Precious. We can tap in the benefit of Mariam. We can tap in the benefit of the Joanne that is able to bring in. So in that case, we'll be nurturing the positive vibe. We are only looking at what we can benefit from this particular team. So in that case, it becomes easier for us to manage our team. Next one, conflict management. We have covered about conflict management. You already know how to identify the conflict, the process of resolving those conflicts. Now, let's manage those conflicts. If you see somebody who is likely to encounter a conflict in his particular task, let's identify that particular person, then identify that particular source of conflict and try and see how we can resolve that. And we should resolve that on time. And we should resolve that amicably. We don't try to hide some issues. We don't try to hide some errors. We need to identify those conflicts and resolve them effectively. Yeah. Okay, just a minute, please. So, okay, we progress. So we had talked about conflict management, and you said you identify the sources of conflict in advance. You can anticipate if at all you float some ideas in the team, and you see people who are criticizing, people who are just looking at the negative part of it, people who are nagging, people who are down. Those are people who are having conflicts. You can identify those persons and you try to solve the conflict that they do have. So once you have solved those conflicts, then you are able to move forward. And another thing is delegate responsibilities. So for you to manage the team, you need to delegate responsibility. There are some tasks that my manager is undertaking and I don't know of them. So in that case, if my manager gives me some of those responsibilities, I feel motivated, I feel encouraged, I feel moved. Yes. So in that case, you are able to move to make a team. And if you delegate, you are also able to learn from those team members. If you delegate an activity and the team member lets you down, you are able to know that that member is not reliable. You are able to know this member require coaching, this member require training, this member require support. But if you don't delegate, then you are not able to learn from those particular members. If you delegate, you also bring those members closer to you. They're able to open up and tell you some of the information. So you need to delegate some of the responsibility. Then next one, be enthusiastic and be enthusiastic and celebrate wins. To be enthusiastic, always show positive energy. You might be having troubles, but you don't show or don't write your troubles on your face. You might not have had breakfast since morning because you didn't have money, but you don't have to show that in your face. Always wear a smiling face. Let people see the positive part. Let the people see the energy. When you come in, come with the energy. Let people see the energy rather than the problems that are there. You might be in the morning when you wake up, you might have had your caretaker notify you that they want to close your door because you have not paid rent, but you don't carry that outside. You should come up with enthusiasm. You must have energy. You must show the positivity. You must show what you are going to achieve. So in that case, you will be able to manage your team. But if you always look behind, for instance, tomorrow you might have received an email, and the email is telling you that you have not achieved your objective. So you have to escalate to your team so that you are able to meet those objectives. You don't go to your team showing how you are frowned, how you are not happy, how you are not happy with your boss, how your boss is not seeing the positive side of you. No, when you go out, show your boss, you show your team that you are able, you're capable, you can achieve. The last part, let's compare a team and a group. A team is not always same as a group. So we want to look at some of the features of our group, then we look at the features of our team. One, a group has a leader chosen by the members. So that means because we chose Precious to become our team leader, that makes this a group and not a team. So, and number two, a group has individual accountability. Individual accountability, that means for this particular activity to take place, I must prepare to come and train you. You must prepare to come for training. You must have made arrangements how you are going to get bundles. I must make arrangements how I'm going to get bundles. So we are concerned about individual accountability. Everybody for himself. Within the group is everybody for himself. Then number three for a group, that the similarity between the goal and organization. That if we form a group, the goal of and organization is one and the same thing. The goal of this particular group was just to train. So that means once you achieve the goal, you have also achieved the group. You have already decided the group. So the group and the goal is one and the same thing. Then within the group, we also have individual work. We look at individual, what John is doing, what Mariam is doing, what Joan is doing, what Precious is doing, what Jacob is doing. So we are looking at individual work. We are not concerned about how we benefit together. Then the number five, that effectiveness is measured by the business effect indirectly. That when you are measuring the effectiveness of a group, then we are measuring, okay, we are looking at the effect on the business. How many transactions have you brought? How much revenue have you brought? That's what is concerned about the group. We only look at the effect of the business. What are you bringing in? What are you contributing towards us? Then discussion, uh, sorry, discussion, decision, and delegation of work for each individual. So if you have a group, if you are leading a group, we are delegating to an individual. We are working as an individual. We are working. It has a lot of honorias. One for himself with the group. With the group, we have to fight for our rights. With our group, you have to fight for your right. As a member of that particular group, you have to fight for your right. You have to, okay, if we are delegating to you. If we give you an assignment, we are giving you an individual assignment. There's no cohesion. There's no teamwork. Let's look on the other hand at team. A team shares the role of leadership. That if we are a team, we are all leaders. If at all we come to this particular session and one of us has a challenge, then all of us have a challenge. Get it? So if we form a team, for example, if we have a team, we have formed a team, and we have logged in, two of us have logged in, one has not logged in. Then the two who are in will request that don't start the training until the other person comes in. So in that case, we will have formed a team. We are all leading. But if you have a group, that means we will only say And the two of us we are already a quorum, we can progress. So we don't take care of the interest of the third person or the other person. Yes. So uh, when you are forming a team, then we must share the role of leadership. If one member, even if you have identified Precious to be our leader, but Precious is not logged in, we look for her. All of us take the responsibility. We take the pain that if she's not here, we are not going to benefit. If Mariam has not joined, it's not going to benefit. So we take the pain. We say, no, we cannot start until she comes. If Joan has not joined, we say, no, we have to wait for her. So in that case, we have created a team. Then number two, accountability is mutual and individual. That now for accountability of team, we are accounting as a team. If we have generated revenue, that revenue is for the whole team. Yes, we know it's individual who have contributed towards that, but we are all celebrating together. We are saying that KRA has hit 50%, 100%, or 120% as a whole team, not as an individual. We don't say that Commissioner X is who has brought this, the chairman is who has brought it, the CEO is one who has done this. No, it's a whole team. So in that case, we create the team and accountability for all of them. If we have made a problem, then if we have made a mistake, then that mistake is a whole team. We are not criminalizing just one or two people. We are saying the whole team has done that. Then number three, vision and mission only for a special team. Now, we'll have mission for the whole organization. Now, for instance, KRA will have a mission to collect revenue to support the whole country. But now, within your team, within your department, within your branch, you have a team. That team will also create a vision that we have to collect 30 billion. This 30 billion will go towards what will be collected in other areas, so that when you put together now, it will support the whole nation. The vision for care will be one, but now within the department you'll create some subdivision. Yes. So that's what happens with the team. Then we have collective work. And when for a team, we don't work as an individual. We work together. That if one of the team members is not there, then am I able to shield that particular person? Can I shield that particular person from the coercion, so that this member can still feel part of the work, so that we are not working as an individual, we are working together, all of us as a group. Then number five, every meeting opens a discussion. That if we are having a meeting, if we have formed a team, whenever I meet Nerian, we start discussion. Whenever we start I meet Marianne, we'll have a discussion. Whenever John meets Precious, they should have a discussion. Whenever Marianne meets John, there will be a discussion, because we have formed a team. We have we have created a team. We have something in common, and we have created a bond. Just a minute. The slide. Okay, John, you're saying I share the slide on group. Just a minute. See, I had John on this, and then I come back to the group. I go back.
Okay.
So, and then the effectiveness is measured by directly and collectively. So when you are measuring the effectiveness of a team, then you are looking at it as directly what each team member is contributing, but you are also looking at what you are achieving as a whole team, not just as an individual, what you are able to achieve as a whole team. So that's what will be concerned. Then lastly, discussion, decision, and sharing of work. Within a team, we share work. We don't leave work to an individual. We share. If at all I've taken my portion of my work and I've not achieved it, then I can allow other members to weigh in, other members to contribute. So if I realize one of our member is not able to achieve his objective and I've finished mine, I go and support, because work is shared. So if I know if he doesn't finish, then it means we will fail as a whole team. He's not going to fail as an individual. We will fail as a whole team. So in that case, that's why the team is different from the group. And now, after this particular meeting, kindly endeavor to go and create teams. Don't create groups. Groups, they have a lot of mshene. Hizo mnapiga nazo mshene, oh fulani amefanya hii, fulani ana behave hivi. Those are the groups. But now when you form group teams, you will not have those side charts. You will always endeavor to achieve your particular objective. So, Joanne, you had requested I share this one or the other?
The one that
Joanne?
you're explaining when you are comparing the team and the group.
Is this one? Okay, on the left is group and the right is team. Are you able to
Yes.
see it? Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Just yes.
Okay.
I can see it.
So that marks the end of the session about team. So I'll accept some few questions before we move on to the very last session. Very last session. Questions, you can start with the Joanna, I can see your on.
It's okay for me now. I'm able to see the difference clearly.
Thank you. Mariam?
Yes.
Yes. Is there any part that you require some clarification, probably?
No clarification. It's clear.
Okay.
Been doing lots of screenshots
Yeah.
to share
Oh,
with colleagues.
yes, no problem. Precious?
It's well understood. The
Yeah.
only thing I can maybe ask, I don't know,
Yeah.
it's asking, I would want just to feel your view. If you are
Yeah.
leading a team,
Yeah.
how can okay? Sometimes you find you are doing
Yeah.
your best for the team to be cooperative, but
Yeah.
you always get some people going the other way when you are going
Mm.
this way.
Mm.
How can you make those people buy your vision or uh, buy your idea when they are not
Mm.
opposing it in a good way? Because you'll always find there are people who are always opposing everything and you don't know why. How
Mm.
can you handle such situation in a good way that you still retain those people in the group and
Mm.
they will not in the team and they will not even influence the others to be against the vision that you
Yeah.
have?
Okay. Thank you. Now, have you ever attended a school parents meeting?
Yes, I
Maybe
have.
you have. And when
Yeah.
they were suggesting to increase fees, or they were suggesting parents to contribute some money for something.
Yeah, you find yeah, sure.
Yes. Do you usually see some opposition there?
Yeah, I usually find some they are okay, others are not okay with the increment.
But majority who talk, are they opposing or supporting?
Majority they usually oppose.
For those who talk, there are those who oppose, but they talk in low tones. They watanung'unika, lakini they will
Eh,
eventually pay. Yeah, but those
watakuwa
who
huko
talk
chini.
usually, yeah. Now, I want to share with you what usually happen. Now, if at all the school wants to increase some fee or collect some revenue, some levies, they usually identify some of the parents who are very vocal. Now, these parents who are very vocal, they are called for a meeting in advance prior. Then they are briefed why they have to collect this particular fee, the situation they are put in that particular situation. Then they are led to decide. Probably the head teacher will now bring out and see this is the much money we have collected, this is how we have used, and provide the accountability and all the particular reports that are required. Then he asks me now, if you are in my shoe, what would you have done? So before he says this is what I wanted you to do, he asked them, what would you have done? So those parents will now contribute to say, in this case, let's increase the fee by 2,000. Let's increase the fee by 5,000. Let's increase the fee by this much. If we increase the fee by this much, how much are we going to collect? Will that be adequate to take care of that particular perspective? Now, because of that, because they have suggested, you get it, the principal only told them where they are and where they want to be. But now the parents, those particular parents, have suggested what they can do to get where the school wants to be. Now, after that, now they call for a formal school meeting. Now, when they call for a formal school meeting, now where all parents are coming in, then the head teacher will still present the same scenario to the parents. Now, once he has presented the same scenario to the parents, then he will say, now we would like to get your views, we would like to get your ideas. Now, those parents who had been in the first meeting will be the first people to wake up, and they will propose. And somebody will propose a crazy figure, and he was in that meeting. Another person will propose a different figure, and he was in that meeting. And another person will propose a third figure, and they were all in that particular meeting. They know what they want to support. They know what had been discussed earlier. So now, once they have suggested these crazy figures, we have other parents who are getting it the first time. Remember that those who are getting it the first time, ndio wanajua kwa hiyo mkutano tunataka kuongeza fees. So they will complain. But as much as they will complain, they will also get those who will get the first time, but they don't have the problem. They will still support. So from there, they will negotiate and argue. Then it remains that the parents have made the decision. It's not the school. It's not the principal. So even those who complain will eventually have to pay. The same thing you can also use in your organization. If there's something you want to introduce, if there's a memo you have been given, you will want to change this particular perspective. Don't just go directly and communicate to them that this has to be changed. No. Engage some of those who are usually negative. Tell them this, give them the scenario, create for them a scenario. Let them now start looking for the solution. So if they, and your prayer would be, they suggest what you want, or your prayers, if they don't suggest what you wanted, after they have suggested, they will also ask you, but now you have not suggested. You get it? Then you also suggest a possible solution, but now you are suggesting what you wanted to be done. So because you have called them, they consider themselves as an inner circle, and they consider themselves as an inner circle. You have consulted them, you have considered them. Now, once you have agreed, once you have resolved, now call for a full staff meeting, call for other team members to join, call for a meeting. Now, within that meeting, again, bring the similar scenario you had brought in. Now, once you bring in the similar scenario, let the members on their own volition start contributing, either those who are there or not there. Don't mention names. Don't say, so Precious, now you can take over. Or Joanne, now you can give us. Or Miriam, now you can talk. In that case, the other members will read malaise. Because if you are specific on members to contribute, then they know you have already discussed. So you have softened the brand of the others, and you now develop a crop of another, those who will now rebel. So you let other members now to start suggesting. Of course, because you have discussed with this group of members, they will be positive. They will support you, or they will say now what you had shared. So in that case, as you discuss, now whatever you solve there, you will not have any objection. People will work together as a team. But now, if you go and force them, this is what you want to do, automatically they will rebel. Members will rebel against you. I hope I've given you some insight and you can use.
Let me just comment that giving example, that is the
Yes.
best way of even getting it. Now, even understand this team management better. That example will
Yeah.
stick forever.
Yeah. Okay.
Hiyo iko sawa kabisa, Mwalimu Jona.
Sawa. Asante. Any other person who could have an issue, probably you can elaborate it before we move to the next part. If none,
I'm okay
okay,
on my
Marie.
end.
Yeah.
I'm okay on my end.
Okay, Mariam is okay. Joanne, I hope you are also okay.
Yes, I'm okay.
Okay, thank you. Now, the last part we want to do, we said it's a small exercise, and probably it will excite or not excite. Let me put down this, and then I share so that you are able to see. If from this team, is there anybody, any of you who has ever encountered something called Kahoot? Any of you who has
Kaput.
encountered Kahoot?
Kahoot.
Kahoot.
Do you mean the English meaning of like being in cahoots with someone else, like conspiring?
Not conspiring. Let me share the screen so that you see whatever I'm talking about. There's a game called Kahoot, Kahoot. Have you encountered such?
Never.
Never. So the first time. Huh? So it will be the closing. It will close for us the training. So now I would like you on your gadget to Google Kahoot. Just Google Kahoot. Then once you've Googled Kahoot, go to play game. Click play Kahoot game. Kahoot here, this browser. Play Kahoot, enter game pin. Click on that. Are we there, all of us? It will take you to that screen I've shared with you.
Yes.
Okay, all of us are there. Mariam, are you there?
I'm using an iPhone. It's giving me a hectic time. You have to put passwords and stuff. So let me just do it on my laptop.
Yeah, go on your laptop. John, are you there?
I'm with you.
Okay, so let me generate a pin.
سيدتنا آمنة بنت وهب أم النبي صلى الله وسلم وبارك عليه وعلى آله علي نور وكنتم المرسلين ولنا آمنة علي نور وخرج معه نور أضاء له قصور الشام ikatoka pamoja na yeye Mtume sallallahu alaihi wasallam nuru ambayo iliweza kung'arisha majumba ya Sham au majumba ya Sham yakaleta mwangaza. Majumba ya Sham yani kutoka mwangaza kutoka kwa na Amina kutoka kwenye
Are you there, madam?
Is it cap sensitive? New managers TR.
Yeah.
وتراءت
Is it manager or managers?
Yeah?
The
What's
pin
the
is
game pin?
Just a minute, I'll get that.
hamsia ambayo ni kasida ilikusanya takriban karibu beti elfu au zaidi. Atambia wataraat kusuru Kaisar Sham, yakaonekana majumba ya Kaisar yaliokuwa Sham, yaraha ayaona majumba kama hayo, ayaonazo majumba kama hayo nadaruhu lfathau, yule ambaye majumba yake iko Makka, alikuwa Makka aliona nuru mpaka Sham bila kuwa na kitu ya misi chochote, nuru namna ilivyokuwa ni kubwa kiasi. Kwa hiyo baada ya Mtume sana wakuzaliwa ilionekana nuru kubwa, na kwa hadithi zilizokuja kwa njia iliyozidi kabisa, na tanzia Ibn Hajar kwamba hadithi kama hii wa kharaja ma'ahu nurun Allah lahu qusuru Sham imekuja kwa sahihi kwa tashihi.
so we have to sign up because I'm putting the
No,
game
you
pin
want
new
to get. Once you get to this particular window, just a minute, I'm getting you the game pin. So once I give you the game pin, yeah, just be patient. If you are here, just wait. Let me generate the pin.
zenye kukubalika zisizokuwa shaka. Na katika hadithi
So enter that game pin. Enter that game pin 360 5654. Once you enter that game pin, you enter your nickname. You can write any name you want to use. You can see procedure. I believe, Mariam, you are the ones still remaining. I wait for you. You enter that pin, then you enter your nickname. Mariam, do you have a challenge still? Mass. So all of us have entered.
I have signed in.
So now I'll just give you. Yeah, you have signed in. Think you have seen. Now I'll give you some of instruction that we'll be following. The instruction number one, the person who will have the highest score or the least score will lead us to reward the person who has the highest score, and the award will be clapping or singing for that particular person. So you will sing. So if you strive not to be the last, because you'll have to sing a song for the first person. Then there are questions that will come. Those questions on your screen, it will only show colors. So the questions have multiple choices. So you only choose the multiple choice, the color that has the correct multiple choice. On your side, it will show colors. On my side, okay, on the question, it will show the question with the color, and within the color, there's answers. So you choose the answer that has the correct multiple choice. Then you have 20 seconds to respond to a question. And the first person, the faster you key in the correct answer, the higher the score. So those scores keep on reducing. So if you answer, for example, if I share within the first 2 seconds you have answered the correct answer, you get 2,000 points. If you answer the correct answer, but you answer the 10th or 15th second, you find that the score has declined. Is that okay? Are we ready?
Yes.
Okay, Precious is ready. Joanna, are you ready?
Yes, we are.
Yes,
Okay.
but now you are creating some pressure.
No pressure. Need simple question. Multiple choice. Multiple choice. So let's start. Multiple choice questions. Don't get pressure. Uh-huh. So the first question goes, which one among the following is not a consideration for setting targets for your team? So choose one. So depending on the color and shape. And time is going. 5 seconds remaining. One answer received. 2 seconds to log out if you don't. So one person responded. Just a minute, we see the score.
Oh, excuse me. I did not see. Oh,
Yeah.
no, my God. I am looking at my laptop, and then the answers are projecting on the other side. Oh, it's okay.
Oh, oh,
I wa- I'm waiting for the answers to come on the colors. Okay, so
yeah. Sasa umeona mali zinakuja.
zinakuja hapa kwa nini our whatever, and anyway, it's okay.
Okay. Me,
You
whatever
had
I'm
not
sharing,
given us that instruction.
the instruction, if you have logged on with your laptop.
Yeah, my laptop kaput is here, but now you have shared the answers on the screen of our Google Meet.
Yeah, so now whatever I'm sharing,
Mm-hmm.
is only to enable you to see which color has the correct answer. For example, if the correct answer was realistic, then you, on your laptop where you have logged in Kahoot, you click on that particular color.
Okay, then I have to log on the phone. It's okay. Okay, let me just manage it. Okay.
Yeah, so we wait you log
It
in
would
on the
have been
phone.
better if you're
No,
on the
I'm
phone.
okay
Let
now.
me also.
You are okay.
Yeah, because the first question we have missed it because you did not even see the choices.
So the only person saw the choices. The other two had issue. Precious, did you have an issue?
Yes, I'm the one talking. I'm saying I was logged in on my laptop, and
Yeah,
the
Paola,
choices
you
were
have
on
seen, huh?
my group mate. So I did not see the
So,
choices.
okay.
It's
Mariam?
if I'm to log also on the laptop on the phone. It's the password was 36. I know
Oh,
56, 54, but Could I retrieve the 36?
Let me try
But
and
if it's
get a.
difficult, it's okay. Then I'll be multitasking on the two. It's okay then.
We can
If it's
start
difficult,
afresh. Let me
I
try and
think
see if we
I
can
think
start
it was
afresh.
360, 360, 56, 54.
No,
360,
let's start
56.
afresh. Then if I'm starting afresh, all of us are starting.
Okay.
So all of us now, let's start. There's me. Game pin 654, 52, 59.
Another one. No, Baba.
Yeah, we are starting afresh so that all of us start on a fresh start. So Precious has logged in. We are waiting for Joanne and Mariam. So we are waiting for Mariam. Joanne has logged in.
6545259. I think I'm okay.
Yeah. All of you have logged in, so it starts. Yeah. So the first question, which one among the following is not a consideration for setting targets? So you have 20 seconds. Achievable, realistic, specific, or stretching. So for the first question, you can see your score. Precious was first, Joan, then Mariam. So next,
Yes.
which one among the following is not a consideration for setting targets for your team? That repeated, Okay. All of you have answered, so we move. As you have increased, Precious, you have increased your score. All of you have increased your scores. So we move on to the next question. So the following methods is the traditional method of appraisal. I have 7 seconds, 5 seconds. Okay. We progress, we go to question 3. Question 4. The following are causes of conflict in an office environment, except one. Which one is it? Is not? Which one is not a cause of conflict? Yeah. We
Precious,
progress.
compare.
So John tafuta wimbo kuimbia Precious. The following are types of conflict. Which one is not? Unanswered meaning. The following are benefits of training and development to organization, apart from one. Which one is not? Hmm? Haya, Precious unaanza kurudi. Haya. Next. Which of the following training methods may not be used in staff training? Remember the game, speed is of essence. With the game, speed is of essence. So we move on. Speed is of essence. We are halfway. Organizational development looks into the following aspects other than one. Which one is not? There's one person who is tunaendelea. Who among the following is not a party in supply chain? Yes. The following is a list of inventory management technique. Which one is not?
ABC, look, my phone is locking.
Which of the following is a barrier to communication? Barrier to communication. You are almost trying, eh? So tutaimbiana wote. When making decision, we answer the following questions apart from one. Which one is it?
What? Wrong, okay.
The following are roles of human resource manager apart from one. Which one is not? Time.
I don't get to listen to the questions.
We are almost coming to an end. Talent management process involves the following apart from one. Which one is not? The second last question. The following are roles of supervisor apart from one. Which one is not? Which one is not a role of a supervisor? That one seems easy. The following are sources of power apart from one. Which one is not? Hmm? So Joe number 3, Mariam number 2, and
Johan, dance
John
for me.
weka wimbo. John tuongoze kukulapia Precious.
Hey, that was a tough one. So clearly the time was of the essence, kabisa, because nimeona what the time has done. Anyway, so let's clap for Precious.
Yeah.
We'll do the one we used to do when we were little, in almost baby class or huko chekechea huko.
Yeah.
So we'll go, well done, Precious. A very good, Precious. And you are a star,
Yeah.
a shining star. Yay!
Thank you very much. Ha.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you for attending the meeting. That marks the end of the training. I know that there are forms for evaluation, but Mr. George will circulate to you. We'll share with you those evaluation forms. For unless if there's any burning issue that we can discuss, we can ask Precious to share, or everybody to share what we start with. Precious, the class president, says you last. We start with the Miriam. Miriam, can you share with us your feedback?
We do appreciate the week. I can't believe it's over. It was a fast running week. I guess it's because the topic was enjoyable. Thank you so much, Mr. Jotham. We appreciate everything. I was in for just like the role of a supervisor, but I never thought entirely it would like include everything in general of for even you to be a CEO of that company. You have to like this has enlightened us all in all capacities. So I really do appreciate everything I learned, and I hope it will benefit both me, my colleagues, and our organization.
Okay.
We do appreciate everything. We thank God for this blessed week. We thank you for being a good trainer, and thank you. We thank our organization for choosing us to be part of the KIM training. I thank everyone in general.
Okay, thank you too. Oh, you are through. You can allow Joanne.
Yes, John, go ahead.
Okay. Also, for me, I'm so grateful having been chosen as part of the 3 members by KRA to attend. The training is not something small. I've also not attended this kind of a training for a long time. It was so interactive, in as much as we could not be with each other, but I have really learned a lot that will benefit me all round in KRA and even in my small side hustles here and there, because we have learned so much from procurement to leadership to management. So we are really so grateful, Mr. Jotham. Hopefully someday, as we have formed a new team, I want to believe it's not just a group, it's a team. We will be able to meet all of us and we continue to network together. Lakini huyo George, tell him he's a wanted man. Bado ako na majibu yetu. Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be part of this. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you too. So, Precious, you can say your word.
Being the last one, unakuanga
Yeah,
hauna kitu ya kusema, but I will echo Joanne's words and Mariam. It has
yeah,
been really a wonderful experience. And
mm,
what I can tell you is that I'm not a manager, I'm not yet a supervisor, but
yeah.
the knowledge that
Aspire.
you have already impacted on me, I think when
Yeah,
I'm given that role, the way I'll play it, hey, watajua na nimecheza kama mimi.
yeah.
I've really learned a lot. I know Mariam and Joanne, they said they are supervisors in their position, but I'm still an officer. But I know
Yeah,
when I'm called for an interview and I'm given
yeah,
a supervisory position, I will represent
yeah,
you, Jordan, very well. You'll come to the
okay,
office, utanipata
yeah,
I'm managing that
yeah,
office. Like, what is this?
yeah,
Thank you so much.
yeah,
Thank you so much.
okay.
And pass also my regards to George. It has been wonderful. The
Yeah,
1 week imekuwa tu
yeah,
ingine tu extraordinary. I was in the house, but
mm,
trust you me, I thought I'll be distracted in the house, but the concentration that I have had with this one, mpaka kila mtu kwa nyumba was asking me, kwani what are you training this time round? Kwani what is this that you're putting all your mind inside?
yeah,
So I'm so grateful so much, and I pray that God to continue blessing you with more knowledge that you continue transferring to young people. And I also want
yeah,
to thank my
yeah.
organization
Thank
for
you.
selecting me. I think I'm the
Mm,
youngest. I know, not as
yeah,
they think. I know Joanne and Mariam waliingia kwa hii
yeah,
idara kitambo sana. I am the last one. So the baby in the house, though
yeah,
I'm the president, but I'm the
yeah,
baby in the house. I really
yeah,
appreciate, and I've also learned a lot from Joanne and Mariam. So thank you
yeah.
so much, guys. I hope we will meet one day, face to face.
Mm,
Ciao.
mm. So, so, cheers. So
So
whenever you come to Nairobi, you can always say hi. John, you want to say something?
Yes, I want to say something. The first day I
Yeah,
missed the introductions. So when I came in, I said our customs
yeah,
officer. I don't know, Precious thinks I'm a supervisor,
yeah,
which is very good. Although even in my capacity, sometimes you find yourself leading a small team as much as your officer, but bado hujapewa
yeah,
mamlaka. But I hope and pray even now
yeah,
she's applied, and we are hoping that tutapata. So you've kind of just armed us before, and we are
yeah.
hoping that once we get it, we will tutashine. We will do what you have taught us, what you have empowered us to do. Thank you.
Mm, yeah. Sasa karibu. So I wish you all the best. I believe even if, okay, for those who have not been promoted, in due course you will get the promotion. But when you get the promotion, the best thing is to apply the skill that you have acquired. So once you acquire the skill or acquired knowledge, if you don't apply it, then it becomes useless. So you have not just been training for the purpose of getting a certificate, but also to get a skill and get enlightened. So when you report to office by next week, we would like to see the change. You introduce the change in organization, be the leader. You might not be the manager, as you said, you might not be the manager, but you are a leader. You start influencing a number of things to happen. You start influencing members of organization. So in that case, we'll be able to see that. So who is volunteering to pray for us? We can ask the champion to pray for us. Champion of the day, you can pray for us as we close the meeting. Precious.
Okay, let us pray. Let the baby and the champion and the president pray. Okay, let's pray. Father, in Jesus' name, we want to thank you. Thank you so much, Jehovah Father, for this opportunity that you have given us, even for the gift of life and the health since Monday until today, Jehovah Master. We want to thank you, Jehovah King of Glory, even for the knowledge that we have acquired from Jotham throughout the week, O King of Glory. Our hearts are full and we are so thankful for everything that has been happening throughout the week, all the discussions that we have had, even all the talk that we have had. If there is anything that you have said that is not according to your wish, we pray that you may forgive us. Right now, Jehovah Father, I want to place the three of us, Joanne, Mariam, and I, into your able hands. As we continue pursuing our career, we pray that Jehovah Father, you may be with us. Help us in our endeavors, Jehovah King of Glory. Even as we look forward to applying for promotions, Jehovah Father, we pray that you may give us favor. You may also give us favor before the recruiters, Jehovah King of Glory, when we go for this interview. Also, Jehovah Father, in the stations that we are working, O King of Glory, may we bring the difference. May we be seen as the salt of that station, Jehovah King of Glory. May the knowledge that we have acquired here, we be able to transfer it to our colleagues, and we may shine the light where there is no light, O King of Glory. Thank you for this opportunity that you have been given so that we may gain this knowledge to benefit other people, O King of Glory. We want to place our organization into your able hand. We pray for the target that we have this year, that we may be able to attain the target, and we may the revenue can help this country, O King of Glory. We also pray for our country, Jehovah Father. We know we are going through many problems in this country, and we know you are our problem solver, O King of Glory. Come in where we need you, Jehovah Father, in part of leadership where we want you to open our eyes so that we may choose the right leader, so that Kenya may be a better place to stay. Help us, Jehovah Father, as we grow towards the election, O King of Glory. We pray for our blessings even to the family of Jotham, family of George, family of Joanne, family of Marianne. We pray that you may bless our families and you may be with us in everything that we do. We pray all this believing and trusting in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Thank you, and have a wonderful day. Let's meet when God allows us.
Asante sana Jotham.
Karibu.
Okay, bye
Thank
everyone.
you so much. Bye.
Bye. So you are free
Bye,
to
bye,
leave the
bye.
meeting.
Okay, bye.
Bye.